So let us start with a very interesting topic, right? So not about UPSC, but still it is about UPSC. You will realize. You might have heard a few names in the technology domain. Recent days we are witnessing lots of podcasts and debates about artificial intelligence, about quantum computing, right? Space technologies, everything. So one of the names very prominent nowadays is Dario Amodei. Has anyone heard about this name? Dario Amodei. Dario Amodei. Dario Amodei. Has anyone heard this name? Not a single one here. How many of you have done engineering here? Okay. Good. So, how many of you have tried any computer science tools like AI apps, trying to code something? How many of you have tried? No? ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಕಲ್ಸಲ್ಲ ರೈಟ್ ಯಾ ಸೊ ಈಸ್ ದಿ CEO of Anthropic. So Anthropic is another AI company, just like OpenAI, right? Like Google, we have Gemini. So they have LLM, large language model. Its name is Claude, CLAUDE, Claude. Just like Gemini and ChatGPT, it is a large language model app. So where you ask question, it gives responses. It generates generative AI. So in a recent essay, so he wrote a very long essay, 20,000 words essay. The name of the essay is The Adolescence of Technology, right? The Adolescence of Technology. So there, in 2024, he had written another essay, The Grace of something like, machines are something, the loving grace of machines are something. So he was very optimistic in 24. So in 26, in this essay, he is pessimistic. So what is the meaning of pessimism? Having slightly negative ideas, thoughts or opinion about certain developments. So there he makes few arguments that AI can be misused by dictators to grab power. AI can also become more autonomous. It can generate another AI tool, right? And it can create its own tools to control humanity or some of the things related to humanity. So another argument he says that there can be a country of geniuses, right? So this could be a prelims question in 27 or 28. Country of geniuses. There is something called embodied artificial intelligence. Humanoid robots, right? Robot just like me. It is actually termed as embodied artificial intelligence. Embodied. Embodiment you might have heard, right? EMBODIED, embodied artificial intelligence. So when there is embodied artificial intelligence, when there are humanoid robots, they are about to come. In another few months, we will see them in Western countries, in hospitals, in government offices, in public spaces, right? Everywhere. And these are not ordinary robots, right? So they are as intelligent as Gemini, Claude, or ChatGPT. It's kind of integrated, right? It is more intelligent than humans. And when these robots outnumber humans, in another 10 years, it is said that there are going to be 8 to 9 billion humanoid robots. So let us say that this classroom is full of such humanoid robots. And let us say Chandra layout is full of such humanoid robots. So it constitutes a country of geniuses. Got it? And their collective genius is so powerful than all of our current thinking capability, right? Current knowledge level, because they have knowledge about everything. Physics, chemistry, maths. You give any problem, they can solve instantly. They can calculate the complex problem instantly. And they have the knowledge of everything related to history. Whatever knowledge exists, they know about it, right? So now, when you have country of geniuses, all these robots, it is going to be reality in another 5 to 10 years. So now you are in 2026, right? For you, it takes minimum 3 years to crack this examination, right? That is the truth. 1.5 years rigorous preparation, and then another 1 year giving the examination itself. If you crack in one attempt, well, good. So, but maybe you don't clear prelims or mains or fail in the final stage, then you may have to give another attempt. So, considering that, like 3 to 3.5 years is the timeline for you. Now, let us say that in 2028 or 29, you crack the examination, right? And then you become an IAS officer or IPS officer. The world will be not the way it is today, right? It will be changing, transitioning. It wouldn't have drastically changed in 2029 or 30, but that will be the beginning. So from there onwards, you will have 30 years career in civil services minimum, right? So now, when these robots or artificial intelligence, when they become part of our lives, and when they are there in democratic country like India, so one of the biggest responsibilities for all of you will be to ensure that they don't grab power, or they don't beat humans, or they don't interfere with human lives, and how they are going to be integrated, used for the betterment of the humanity, the country, right? Developing the country. So for governance, for administration, for development, and also to ensure that there are no threats. Now, what it requires, so when you have to deal with such kind of unforeseen events in the future, current way of preparation, right, should be aligned with this kind of thinking. Now, the way people have been preparing till now is going to totally change from now onwards. Now, the UPSC is not a standstill organization, right? It's not a stagnant organization. It evolves, right? It adapts, and it has been given immense responsibility with selecting the brightest minds, right, to be part of the executive, to govern the country. And covertly, what is the meaning of covertly? COVERTLY. Who will tell? What is the meaning of? You might have heard covert operations, right? India did covert operation in Balochistan or Myanmar. Huh? No, covertly ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ indirectly, silently, in a hidden way, right? The meaning of covertly. The opposite is explicit, right? The another synonym for covert is tacit. We say tacit understanding, right? ನಮ್ಮಿಬ್ಬರ ಮಧ್ಯೆ ಒಂದು ಹಿಡನ್ ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಇರ್ತದೆ. ನಿನಗೊಬ್ಬನಿಗೆ ನೋಟ್ಸ್ ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ, ಸೊ ನೀನು ಯಾರಿಗೂ ಅದನ್ನು ಶೇರ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಡ. ಸೊ ದೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ಎ ಟ್ಯಾಸಿಟ್ ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ವೈ ವಾಸ್ ಐ ಯೂಸಿಂಗ್ ದಟ್ ಕೋವರ್ಟ್ ವರ್ಡ್? If you had listened, no, before Balochistan, to integrate? Okay, no, not that. ಕೇಳಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿಲ್ವಾ ಯಾರು? Very good. So now the UPSC is evolving covertly, right, indirectly, in a hidden way. Currently, what it is doing, through the entire examination process of civil services, it is trying to select those candidates who are skillful, who are in a way specialized, right, who have immense knowledge about these domains, who have got diverse interest, but they have deepened their interest in one or two such areas, right? So that is being tested in prelims in a very small way, mains in a more significant way, but in interview in a highly significant way, right? So the preparation you have to do from now onwards should not be merely reading the standard textbooks, right? Polity you have Lakshmikant, and then for modern history, Spectrum and Pipin Chandra, good. Then geography, GC Leong, Go Cheng Leong, and then Nitin Singhania. Okay. So there are NCERT textbooks also, right, for geography. So these are the standard books. You must read these books, you must understand concepts, right? But you should not restrict only to these books, right? You will be surprised to hear this because the online videos, toppers videos, they will all tell you, they will sell you the idea that, you read my notes, you read our notes, you make your own notes, short notes, brief notes from, this book, my book, and then you memorize and then you go and write the exam and then you will be selected, right? This is the idea they sell. So there is no depth to this, right? It is all surface level, superficial exercise, right? This is all superficial. Now it doesn't add any depth to your thinking, your individuality, right? Your personality, and that lack of depth will be evident, right? In the preliminary examination, in the mains examination, especially in the interview, it will be exposed. The lack of depth will be exposed, and you will actually feel that. And because of this lack of depth, what happens? Every week, every month, you will feel incomplete. You will feel like you are not doing adequate preparation. You feel like you will always want to go back to basics, right? You'll keep forgetting. Now, the reason is that we are not giving adequate importance to fundamentals, right? Aspirants, they're not giving adequate importance to fundamentals. You look at the competition, right? There is a huge competition. There are toppers, there are people around you who have given multiple attempts. So there is a competition. So now you, instead of focusing on you, currently, you align with the competition, right? You don't understand where you have come from. You don't understand yourself. You don't know your limitations. Now suddenly you want to jump. You look at the competition and then you want to go with them, right? So this quantum jump, right, cannot be done, should not be done, and you will actually fall down. You cannot jump there. So for that, with this thought process, that the offline guidance program, the word guidance is important here, right? This was designed in a way that from day one it is integrated with answer writing, with mentoring, special focus on mentoring. So at InsightsIAS, mentoring is something that we take seriously. The reason why myself I come and sit 2 to 3 days in a week. Some of you during admission you might have seen me evaluating essays, right? The reason is that we take it very seriously. And to ensure originality, to ensure individuality, to bring depth in your thinking, the mentorship is extremely important. Now, the problem we face is that everyone doesn't utilize the mentorship, which is available as part of the program. You don't utilize, again, because you are focused on the competition, right? So you want to skip half an hour, 1 hour waiting period, mentoring session, and then use ChatGPT or the neighboring guy in the library, and then you think that I can do on my own. I have seen many people, those who graduated in 2024 or 25, let's say June, July, August, they tried to do self-study, right? They bought NCERT books, they bought standard textbooks, they thought videos are available free, right? We'll download, we'll try to do self-study. And after wasting 1 year, maybe half an year, and then they are coming back and joining the offline class after realizing that, right, they are not making any headway, they are directionless, that they are feeling incomplete, that step by step the things are not happening, right? So here the guidance is extremely important. And when I say that you need to build depth, you need to add many dimensions, and when I took the example of artificial intelligence, the intention was he has also talked about many other negative things with respect to 50% of white collar jobs, the entry level white collar, right? The white collar jobs include all so-called, we call group A, group B in India, right? Including the professions like law, medicine, top level accountancy jobs. They will all vanish in another 6 months to 2 years, right? And then You have civil service here. And the people who will get into civil services, I'm not very sure about it, whether those who lose jobs in IT professionals, IT profession, they are going to come here, or those who are not getting job in other white collar jobs, they are going to come here, I'm not sure. But from now onwards, the competition is definitely going to become tough. Not just because of the people who are getting into competition. It's also because the UPSC will up the game, right? Now it is more important than ever to test your analytical thinking and critical thinking, right? So because of artificial intelligence, there is a fear that people are losing creativity, right? They're not thinking. Even basic calculation, earlier it was calculator. Now it is about basic question, right? So you're outsourcing your thinking. Instead of you thinking, right? Let us say that if there is a question, there is SIR going on in India, right? What is SIR? Special Intensive Revision. So it is said to be, it is about cleaning electoral rolls, right? Deleting duplicate names and, cleaning electoral rolls, basically. There are many issues with respect to this. Now you read about SIR in the newspaper, and then if you want to formulate opinion, so you may ask a simple question to ChatGPT: is SIR a good exercise or bad exercise? Right? Now, before asking that question, have you thought by yourself? After reading, like, let's say 3-4 opinions, editorials, have you thought yourself before asking the question that whether it is a good exercise or a bad exercise? SIR is good for country or bad for country? Have you yourself thought about it? Right? So first the question should come, that is the curiosity, and then you should explore the primary sources. Let us say 5-6 editorials from Indian Express, The Hindu, Deccan Herald, standard newspapers, and then read all the editorials and then see where the arguments are, like, which argument is outweighing which argument, pro SIR or against SIR, right? One indicator, the columnists, the experts, their ideas, their ideology, their background matters, and newspaper editorial. The left two articles you see in the Hindu newspaper, they are the opinion of the editorial board of the newspaper. You have seen, right? To left side, there are 2 articles in the Hindu, and then there is a opinion. It's a column written by expert, but the top and bottom, it is by the editorial board. That is the opinion of the newspaper. So they are good indicators that, what is the opinion of the newspapers. They are news opinion makers, right? So they think, they discuss, they reason with, they argue, they sit in a evening and then they come up with an opinion. Now, you may not agree with that opinion, right? Because you might have read another opinion from another newspaper. So you read 4 to 5 different sources and then you formulate your opinion. Then maybe you can ask artificial intelligence, right? Now it will not just go through 4 to 5 newspapers. It may scan every existing knowledge about SIR, the publicly available knowledge about SIR, right? But it won't be reading, let us say you put a Facebook post that, I don't like SIR, right? And then 10,000 people have commented. And we know the nature of comments nowadays, right? On Facebook and Instagram, AI will not be able to go through those comments. So if it is from a private account, right? If it is public, it may go. Now, what is the public mode? What is the public opinion regarding that? So I am not sure if the AI will know about it. Got it? So to develop one opinion, there are so many steps, so many things that you have to do, right? So this is the human thing to do, right? Your own human brain has to read, understand, right? To understand an article, now you should know about Election Commission of India, right? Which article in the Constitution, why it was created, what is its mandate, right? And what is its fundamental duty? What is the organizational structure of ECI, right? Who are these booth level officers? What is booth, right? How many votes in a booth? How many voters are there in a booth. On an average, how many voters are there in the booth? Yes. No. In one booth, how many voters are there? On an average, around 1,000. So in some cases, it is 800, 900. 1,000 is average, right? For example, in Karnataka, one MLA constituency will have, on an average, 240 to 250 booths, 2.5 lakh votes, right? One MLA constituency. So now you have those many booths, right? So under one panchayat, how many booths, right? So if a teacher is sent as a booth level officer, right? Under their jurisdiction, how many booths? You're getting the point. So theoretical constitution to top to bottom ground reality, you should have conceptual clarity. You should have an understanding. It all comes from having innate curiosity. Now, if you're not curious, right? Now, if you see only from examination perspective, right? Prelims में SIR question आएगा. So now there is going to be SIR question in prelims. So now we will read in bits and chunks, right? One article you will read, memorize, and then you will read about, election commissioner, how he is appointed, who are the members who appoint him, how many election commissioners are there in addition to chief election commission. Another fact. Now we will not create a story around it. Similarly, means you pick up a random question, you prepare some random notes, or you download notes from toppers, short notes, and you memorize. So you will lack the context, you will lack the purpose, right? You will lack the basic understanding. So without developing this basic understanding, you are not going to crack this examination. That is the truth. So now UPSC wants to definitely check the real world understanding of all these issues, conceptual clarity of all these issues, and your ability to use these concepts, apply these concepts in real world, right? Because that is the future we are heading into. Now a robot might misbehave with a woman on the street, right? Then what are you going to do about it? In an operation theater, like robot is operating, some mistake happens and the patient dies, unfortunately. Who are you going to punish? Who is going to punish, and are you going to punish the robot, hospital owner, patient, doctor, manufacturer of the robot, or the robot itself? Are you going to put the robot in jail? I mean, these are going to be real world issues in future, right? There is no difference between science fiction and reality in another 10 to 15 years in India, right? So we have data centers now. The data center didn't exist. Like 2 years ago, nobody thought we will set up a data center. What is data center? Recently in Andhra Pradesh, in Vizag, Visakhapatnam. So Google signed a deal, I don't know, I think $370 billion or something, to set up a data center. What is this data center? What does it do? AI. What does it do? Data centers. Okay. It will store all the data. And then, see, there is a huge debate around data centers now. All over the world, you see people are discussing about countries, prime minister, presidents, heads of all these technology companies, they are discussing about the data centers. Should data centers be located on the earth, surface of the earth, or in the space? Right. So there is a guy, Eric Schmidt. He was the CEO of Google. Eric Schmidt anta, he was the CEO of Google. So recently in one of the video, he said that all the data centers in coming years, they will require 99 gigawatt of electricity. 99 gigawatt. Right. If you Google and see how much India has installed, what is the gigawatt capacity, it is far less. Right. What it means is that one nuclear reactor, the highest capacity nuclear reactor which we have, might produce 600 megawatt, 800 megawatt. 1 gigawatt is a very big nuclear reactor. And nuclear reactor is not just a nuclear reactor, right? it requires supply of uranium, plutonium, thorium, whatever it is, that has to be enriched, that has to be mined, right? And there are so many parts, there are so many security issues. It is not easy to just set up a nuclear reactor within few days or few months. And then there are regulations, for buying and selling of the nuclear material. It's a very dangerous stuff, right? So capacity to sustain all these data centers in terms of providing energy. Now this is the argument that I was listening to him. Now they are thinking about setting them up in this space. Why space? Space is free, and then there is unlimited sun energy from the sunlight. It's a free energy. So Elon Musk is already sending satellites. They are setting up already these data centers. Now why these ideas and these updates and these developments, whatever that are happening, from the perspective of UPSC aspirant, from the perspective of you who are starting this journey, is important. You are going to be in the thick of the things, right? You are going to be in that position. Tomorrow, are you going to supply more energy to data center or to a village or a city? If you have to make a choice. Now let us say that nearby Bengaluru, in 1,000 acres, the government decides to set up a data center. The Bengaluru doesn't have enough water, enough electricity, and the data center will require more electricity than Bengaluru, right? It is fact actually. They require more electricity than an entire urban setup. Now from where are you going to bring energy to those data centers? ಸುಮಾರು ಜನ ಹಳ್ಳಿಯಿಂದ ಬಂದಿದ್ದೀರಲ್ವಾ? ಎಷ್ಟು ಗಂಟೆ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಕರೆಂಟ್? For how many hours you have electricity in your homes, in your villages? 6-7 hours. 24 hours is still a ಡ್ರೀಮ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ? 24 ಗಂಟೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಮನೇಲಿ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಇದ್ದರೆ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ರಿ ನೀವು? ಏನೂ ಮಾಡ್ತಿರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ, ಬಟ್ ನೀವು ಇನ್ನೂ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಓದ್ತಿದ್ರೇನೋ ಕತ್ಲಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು, ರೈಟ್? ಸೊ ಎನರ್ಜಿ is required. Energy is one of the fundamental requirement for development, human development, right? You can do lots of things when you have energy, right? So you can work from home, you can create stuff, right? You can educate yourself, you can do so many things. Quality of life improves, but that is going to be a dilemma in future. Now when you are starting the UPSC preparation, if you are just stuck in understanding the basic things, right? Now when I am evaluating essay, whenever aspirants come with essay, two things will be utterly lacking in their essays. One, lack of understanding of the current developments, right? There is no curiosity, there is no interest in it. It is seen purely from the examination viewpoint, right? So if it appears in previous year question, right, so then it becomes important, right? Or it appears in one of the mock tests, maybe then it may become important. So otherwise, applying your individual thinking, thought process, you don't judge, you don't realize whether it is important or not important, right? So I don't see the current understanding, right? So I don't see anyone listening to these debates and discussions. See, you are living at a time, the most wonderful moment in the history of humanity. Now you can directly listen, the way you are listening my class or my orientation today, you can directly listen to every idea, every thoughts of a Nobel Prize winner, right? CEO of all these big tech companies. They are sharing everything, right? If you open YouTube, there are lectures from University of like Stanford University, Massachusetts Institute of Technology, MIT. These are world's topmost universities. There is a clean, primary, sophisticated knowledge available at your disposal, but we are stuck with substandard, useless stuff. So now you need to become ambitious, right? Am I scaring you or am I enlightening you? Right? I'm not trying to scare you, I'm not trying to complicate things. Our motto is to simplify UPSC exam preparation, right? But when you start your preparation, you should not be stuck with, right? When we say basics, the basic has a good meaning, right? Basics is very important. The foundation, the fundamentals are important. But what you were stuck with is any knowledge that doesn't have context, right? That doesn't have utility. It is all like bits and pieces here and there. You doesn't complete it. So through curiosity, you need to understand the basic concepts, understand the development. The second thing that I don't see in the essay is the futuristic dimension of it. Right. So what is going to happen in the future? Right. That imagination, bit of creativity. I don't see that. So you as an aspirant have a very tough job to do going ahead. But it is not a tough job if you really enjoy, if you really love what you are doing. Right. These are all wonderful things, to learn. You have to keep a open mind. You have to keep a relaxed mind. When you read the Hindu newspaper or any English newspaper, don't read it for the examination. The first thing, right? All of you as a beginners, because I am so confident, I can say that not a single soul here has read the Hindu newspaper or any English newspaper seriously so far. Right? Am I right? ಸೀರಿಯಸ್ ಯಾರು ಓದಿಲ್ಲ, ಅಪ್ಪಿತಪ್ಪಿ ಓದಿದ್ರೆ ನೀವು ದಾರಿ ತಪ್ಪಿದ ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಅಂತ, ಅಂದರೆ ಗೊತ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಬೈ ಮಿಸ್ಟೇಕ್ ಅದೇನೋ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು ಅದು, ರೈಟ್? ಬಟ್ ಬೈ ಚಾಯ್ಸ್, ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟ್, ನಾನು ಭಾಳ ಕಲಿತೀನಿ, ನಾನು ಜನರಲ್ ನಾಲೆಡ್ಜ್ ಇಂಪ್ರೂವ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂತ, ಲೈಕ್ ನಾಟ್ ಎ ಸಿಂಗಲ್ ಒನ್. ನಿಮ್ದೆಲ್ಲ ಬರೀ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಫೋಕಸ್. ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟಾಗಿ ಅದು IAS ಆಗಿ ಪೃಥ್ವಿ ಕಾರಲ್ಲಿ ಕುತ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. ನೋಡಿದಿರಾ ಪೃಥ್ವಿ ಮೂವಿನ? ಯಾರು ಹೀರೋ? ಏನಾಗಿರ್ತಾರೆ ಅವರು? ಅದು ಮಾತ್ರ ಇರ್ತದೆ ನಿಮಗೆ, ರೈಟ್? ಬಟ್ ಜರ್ನಿ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಹಿಯರ್ ಟು ದೇರ್ ಈಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಎ ಈಸಿ ಥಿಂಗ್. ಬಟ್ ಅಟ್ ದ ಸೇಮ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಎ ಇಂಪಾಸಿಬಲ್ ಜರ್ನಿ ಆಲ್ಸೋ, ರೈಟ್? ನಿಮ್ಗೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ, ಫಾರ್ ಎವ್ರಿ ಒನ್ ಸಿಟ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಹಿಯರ್, ದ ಟೈಮ್ ಲೈನ್ ವೇರೀಸ್, ರೈಟ್? ಫಾರ್ ಸಮ್ ಇಟ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಬಿ ಓನ್ಲಿ 2 years. That is like only 2 to 3%. For some it is 2 to 3 years, 3 to 4 years, 4 to 5 years. For some it is 6 to 7 years also, right? But this is the nature of the examination, because everyone sitting here do not come with a similar background, right? Everyone has different background, different types of quality of education, different types of upbringing, different types of exposure, right? Different platforms where got opportunity. ಕೆಲವೊಬ್ಬರಿಗೆ, some people fluent in English, right? You have great vocabulary. Some of you are struggling with English. Some of you did well in school days. Academically you loved social sciences, both maths, science. You did well. You read textbooks. Some of them didn't do well, right? ಆಟ ಆಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿರ್ತೀರ. So 10th ಅಲ್ಲಿ or 12th ಅಲ್ಲಿ suddenly you might have done well. And then graduation, good colleges, not so good colleges, and good courses, not so good courses, good extracurricular activities, no extracurricular activities. So everyone comes with a different background. First you understand that, right? Understand your own limitations, that you are poor in English, so you must put extra effort in improving English. You are poor with reasoning skills, analytical thinking. Like engineering, like you didn't do anything apart from computer science, whatever syllabus was there, only that much. Civil engineering, whatever was there, only that much. Physics, whatever was there, only that much. You never had any opportunity to discuss and debate, right? Analytical stuff, where you had to analyze, right, what is happening around you, whether it is related to science, your own domain also, right? For example, why physics is important to human life? Very general question. If you had studied physics, I don't think you actually thought about this question, right? Analyze why physics is important for humanity. If I ask a general question, right, you can write 20,000 word essay or 1,000 word essay, but you never thought from physics and humanity. It was always from physics and examination, right? So you are not curious enough. So that is also a limitation. Now there is so much unlearning you need to do. Suddenly from now onwards, there is so much evolution that has to take place, right? With that evolution, that beginning, that that journey should start without an iota of fear. Not a like at atomic level also there should not be any kind of fear. So that is the beginning. That is the beginning you have to make. Don't be afraid of your background. Don't be afraid about the future also. Don't even think about the future. That this examination is going to be tough, whether I'm going to crack it or not. Right? It will take 2 to 3 years. I'm going to be unemployed. Right? My parents are going to be worried. And I'm already worrying that I need to work, I need to earn. Right? And I have created hype in my family that I'm going to become IAS. What if I don't crack? What will others think? So my relatives will be very happy if I fail. How should I show my face to them? Right? Now I can't attend marriage function. Right? ನಿಮ್ಮ ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ಗಳು ಮದುವೆ ಆಗ್ತಾರೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ವರ್ಷದಲ್ಲಿ. Right? So you don't want to attend their marriage function because others will ask, when are you going to marry? Right? Are you working or not? And looking at the marriage of your friend, then your father and mother will ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಹುಡುಕ್ತಾರೆ ಓದ್ ಕಡೆನೆ. ಸೊ ಹುಡುಕ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ದೆನ್ ದೇ ವಿಲ್ ಸರ್ಚ್ ದೇರ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದೆನ್ ದೇ ವಿಲ್ ಪುಟ್ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್. ಸೊ ಯು ವಿಲ್ ಅವಾಯ್ಡ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಮ್ಯಾರೇಜಸ್. ಇದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲದನ್ನು ಡಸ್ಟ್ಬಿನ್ನಿಗೆ ಹಾಕಿ. ರೈಟ್? ಡೋಂಟ್ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಎನಿಥಿಂಗ್ ಅಟ್ ಆಲ್. ರೈಟ್? ಆಲ್ ದೀಸ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ನಾನ್ಸೆನ್ಸ್. ಯು ಡೋಂಟ್ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಆಲ್ ದೀಸ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್ because you have come here with a mission. You have come with a very big goal. Now that goal, whether you are going to achieve or not, I don't know, you don't know, UPSC doesn't know, the God doesn't know. Nobody knows. Right? Now what is more important is that how you move towards that goal. Every day, one day at a time. In a day, 1 hour at a time. Right? In the time that you have, how you take yourself forward from now onwards. So this uncertainty at this moment, currently it is totally uncertain. You may have confidence that you are going to crack. That is the confidence level. But in reality, whether it is going to happen or not, nobody knows. There are so many phases that you have to pass through, right? Now how you conduct, how you prepare, how you treat yourself, right? How you evolve from now onwards. So this uncertainty will go on becoming certain. It will minimize. This uncertainty will become more certain. The probability which looks now, like 0, will look 90%, 100% as you move towards your goal, provided that journey, right, is on the correct path, under correct guidance, right? And you don't do lots of errors, right? Mistakes, and you don't invest your mind and energy in thinking about unwanted things, also things that are not under your control, right? So here, when you are sitting in this class, what is that you can control currently? Your mind, and what else you can control? Can you actually control what is happening way back in your home? ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ ತಾನೆ. ಯು ಡೋಂಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲ್. ಆಬ್ಸಲ್ಯೂಟ್ಲಿ ಯು ಕೆನಾಟ್ ಡೂ ಎನಿಥಿಂಗ್. ಅಫ್ಕೋರ್ಸ್ ಫೋನಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡಿ ಕಾಂಪ್ಲಿಕೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಕಾಲ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಕಾಂಪ್ಲಿಕೇಟ್ ಇಟ್, ಬಟ್ ಯು ಕೆನಾಟ್ ಕಾಲ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಸಾಲ್ವ್ ಇಟ್. ರೈಟ್? ಮೇ ಬಿ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಕಾಲ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಕಾಮ್ ಡೌನ್ ಇಫ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಮೆಚುರಿಟಿ. Right? Maybe you can calm down the things if you have got maturity, and if they have got maturity, right? And if you have got strong emotional intelligence, maybe you can handle, right? But when you are trying to handle that, so what is that you are doing here? Right? So don't even worry about what you cannot control, what you control. Just be in the flow, right? Enjoy every class at InsightsIAS. Enjoy everything you read, from newspapers, from books. Be curious, ask questions. You won't understand in one go so many concepts. It will take 2-time effort, 3-time effort, 10-time efforts to learn a concept, to understand a concept, because some of you are from humanities background, some of you are from technology background, and we have syllabus across this spectrum covering every aspect of human life, right? Human civilization. Every aspect of human civilization. Ethics too. There is moral philosophy, there is psychology, right? There is art and culture, there is history, geography, polity, economy, science and technology, environment, disaster management, security issues, governance, like everything. There is almost that touches humanity. all the important concepts. And the moment you learn these concepts with lots of deep interest and enthusiasm, excitement, right, you will see that you are gaining confidence, right? And your ability to apply that knowledge exponentially rises. And suddenly, random question, you will be able to think and answer, right? You will be able to think by yourself. There is going to be this new something called neuroplasticity. You might have heard. What is neuroplasticity? ಗೊತ್ತಿದ್ರೆ ಜೋರಾಗಿ ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕಪ್ಪ. What is neuroplasticity? What is neuron? Neuron ಅಂದ್ರೇನು? It's a nerve cell. Okay, what is plasticity? What is plastic? Okay, it has nothing to do with plastic. So neuroplasticity is something, latest scientists have discovered. Earlier, the understanding was that, the brain evolves or grows till certain point of time. Let's say age 10 or 12 or 17, whatever it is. Now they have discovered that it till you die, the brain is evolving, the brain is growing, right? So neurons make new connections, new synapses, new rewiring happens. So you can learn at every stage of your life new things. There is no stopping in learning. You can keep on learning, you can keep on knowing new things, learning new things. So basically this neuroplasticity depends on when you put hard work, right? When you actually think by yourself, then only there is this rewiring. But if you depend on something, right, if you depend on only class notes, you are merely reading, you are merely trying to memorize, there is no rewiring. When we say rewiring a new synapses, that will stay with you, right? That will stay with you during the examination, after the examination, after you pass the course. So that will be with you. So you'll be able to apply those knowledge, that understanding concepts wherever you want to go. So that is a very important factor in this UPSC preparation. So now we try to depend on something, AI, teachers, short notes, YouTube videos. We don't give work to our own brains, right? So that is why I keep reiterating that, when you come to my cabin, when I'm doing mock interviews, I expect depth, right? I expect more diversity. Depth and diversity are the two words I keep using, in this orientation or in my discussion with those who are writing and those who have cracked mains examination. When we say depth, it is your ability to engage. When we say depth and diversity, it is your ability to engage an intelligent audience on diverse topics, right? So you should be able to talk about archaeology, architecture, at the same time, if you jump to quantum computing, right, any advanced space technology, so you should be able to engage. It is not at expert level, not at the level of scientist or anything. Your concepts are good, you know what is happening, you are able to understand what is happening, right? So that diversity you need to build. So again, that comes only through reading primary sources. So going forward, one mistakes that majority of you will do is that doing away with the newspapers, right? You'll start today, then you will find that you are not understanding anything in the newspaper, right? Except crime news, except news related to crimes and accidents and sports, right? India won against Pakistan, right? Easy to understand. Surya Kumar didn't shake his hands with who is the captain of the Pakistani team? Saddam Hussein? Salim Aga. Salim Aga. So, ಯಾಕೆ ಹ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಶೇಕ್ ಕೊಡಲಿಲ್ಲ? Why didn't he shake hands with Pakistani captain? Okay? ಗಾಂಚಲಿನ ಯಾಕೆ ಕೊಟ್ರೆ ನೀವು ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಇರ್ತೀರಾ? Audience nowadays, will they be silent? ಅವ್ರು ನಮ್ಮ ಎನಿಮಿ, ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಕೈ ಕೊಡೋದು ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಹಸ್ತಲಾಘವ ಕೊಟ್ಟರು. ಕೈ ಕೊಡೋದಂದರೆ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಎ ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಮೀನಿಂಗ್ ಇನ್ ಕನ್ನಡ, ರೈಟ್? ಕೈ ಕೊಡ್ಸ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಇರ್ತಿರಿಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್. ಸೊ ಕೈ ಕೊಡೋದು ಅಂದರೆ ಏನು ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷಲ್ಲಿ? ಬಿಟ್ರೇಯಲ್, ರೈಟ್? ಸೊ ಹಸ್ತಲಾಘವ ಹ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಶೇಕ್, ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಅ ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ಲಿ ಥಿಂಗ್. ಸೊ ಅದನ್ನ ಯಾಕೆ ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಇಟ್ ಸೆಂಡ್ಸ್ ಎ ರಾಂಗ್ ಮೆಸೇಜ್ ಟು ದ ಕಂಟ್ರಿ, ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಸಮಥಿಂಗ್ ಲೈಕ್ ದಟ್. ನಾವು ಅದನ್ನು ಪೇಪರಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದಿರಲ್ಲ, ಅದು ಇವತ್ತು ನ್ಯೂಸಲ್ಲಿ ಬರೋಲ್ಲ, ಬಟ್ ಟುಮಾರೋ ಒಪಿನಿಯನಲ್ಲಿ ಬರ್ಬೋದು, ಹೇಳೋಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. ಅಥವಾ ಯಾರಾದ್ರೂ ಅದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ವೀಡಿಯೋ ಮಾಡಿ ಹಾಕ್ಬೋದು, ಥಟ್ ಅಂತಂದು ಇವತ್ತು ಹಂಗೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದು ಒಳ್ಳೇದು, ಹಂಗೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದು ಒಳ್ಳೇದಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಒಪಿನಿಯನ್ಸ್, ರೈಟ್? ಸೊ ಬಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಈಸಿ ಟು ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್, ಬಟ್ ವೆನ್ ದ ಕ್ವೆಶನ್ ಈಸ್ ಆಸ್ಕ್ಡ್ ವೈ, right? So that is when you start thinking, right? When you ask a question like why. If I ask a question, did he do right thing by not shaking hands or wrong thing anta kelidaga, how many of you will raise your hands to say that he did the right thing? Wrong. It was wrong not to shake hands with. Wrong anta ಹೇಳೋರು 1 2 3 4 ಅಷ್ಟೇನಾ? ಇನ್ನು ಉಳಿದರು ತಪ್ಕೋಬೇಕಿತ್ತಂತನಾ? ಹಗ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಿತ್ತಂತನಾ? ಆ ಕಡೆನೂ ಇಲ್ಲ ಈ ಕಡೆನೂ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಇರ್ಬೇಕಲ್ವ ನೀವು, ರೈಟ್? ಸೊ ನಿಮಗೆಲ್ಲ ಫೆನ್ಸ್ ಸಿಟ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಅಂತಾರೆ, ಫೆನ್ಸ್ ಸಿಟ್ಟರ್ಸ್. ಹೆಂಗೆ ಏನಾದರೂ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ನನಗೇನ, ಅವರು ಹ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಶೇಕ್ ಮಾಡಲಿ ಮಾಡದೇ ಇರಲಿ, ನಾನಿಲ್ಲಿ UPSC ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದಿದ್ದೀನಿ, ನೀವು ನಮ್ಮ ಜೊತೆಗಿದ್ರೆ ಸಾಕು. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಹೌ ಯು ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಥಿಂಕಿಂಗ್, ರೈಟ್? ಸೊ ದಟ್ಸ್ ಎ ವೆರಿ ಲಾಜಿಕಲ್ ಕ್ವೆಶನ್. ಐ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಆಸ್ಕ್ ದಿಸ್ ಇನ್ ದಿ ಮಾಕ್ ಇಂಟರ್ವ್ಯೂ, ರೈಟ್? ಸೊ your opinion can be anything, but you have to convince with your opinion. So that is what I meant by engaging, right? You should give like 3 solid reasons or 2 solid reasons or even 1 solid reason why it is right or wrong. You can quote moral philosophy, you can quote our Indian scriptures, geopolitical things, right? Something related to polity, diplomacy, international relations. You can quote anything. There can be multiple reasons from multiple knowledge centers, knowledge sources, right? So this process is very important. Now we have an initiative on the website. Its name is Secure Initiative, right? Insights Secure Initiative. And also there is daily current affair quiz. So there are 2 types of quizzes on our website. One is around 10 questions from that day's current affairs and 5 questions from the editorials, MCQs. So you read the Hindu newspaper, or you can start with Deccan Herald also, then move to the Hindu also, and Indian Express, the Delhi version. You try to read the hard copy. So let it take 2 hours, 3 hours, right? There are so many things that you are not going to understand, but try to understand. Use technology, spend half an hour, 1 hour extra, it's perfectly fine. Don't think you are wasting your time, right? Never ever think that when you are spending 2 hours, 3 hours or 4 hours and trying to understand the newspaper, you are wasting the time. You are not wasting the time. You are filling the gaps, right? This whole journey is about filling the gaps, right? So there is a huge boundary. So in the boundary there are many parts. So you are going on filling the gaps. So in advanced way you may be filling the gaps, right? Something that may happen in the future, you may be doing it now also, right? By your own effort. This is more important. When we teach that in the future, that gets reinforced, right? It is an advantage. So the second thing is, after reading the newspaper, solve the quiz. Open the quiz, solve all 15 questions every day without failure. So if you do, we post around 15 questions every day. 15 questions every day except on Sundays. That is how many questions in a month? 26 days into 15 questions. Brain use ಮಾಡಿ. Around 400, 450, around 400 something. Okay, fine. So in a year, into 12, around 5,000 questions, 4,500 to 5,000 questions, 5,000 questions, right? So 5,000 MCQs with detailed explanation, right? Why this option is wrong, why this option is right, full detailed explanation, right? So we give them as compilations every month. You do daily quiz, you can revise weekly, you can revise monthly also. And then during the preliminary examination, you can again revise the compilations. This is one of the most interesting, most, you know, significant sources of your current affairs preparation, the current affairs quiz compilations. If you do on a daily basis, two things will happen. One, it tests the knowledge. Second, it will also let you know that what are the things that you missed out. Third, there is another advantage that it will also let you know that why certain current affairs questions are important and from what dimension they can be asked. We'll not straight away ask questions, right? We will link it with maybe their history, culture, geography. Interlinkages will be there. You will learn how things can be interlinked. So this will help you again in the class understand a topic from different dimension. Right? When you do PYQ, we will understand why this question was asked from this dimension, not purely from static viewpoint. Got it? The third thing you need to do that you open the secure initiative. Right? So ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಅದು ಇದನ್ನ ಓಪನ್ ಮಾಡೋದು. The secure initiative, what we do from editorials, board, board ಅಲ್ಲ ಇದು internet. The secure initiative I started in 2012. From everyday newspaper, whatever you read, from editorials, especially primarily from editorials, what we do, we read editorial, right? And then we may make notes and then we forget. So what we wanted was that once you read editorial, we wanted you to think about the editorial. We wanted you to develop your own opinion. Earlier I was talking about developing your own opinion, right? And then write that opinion from the different dimension or from the straightforward opinion that is there in the question. So 6 to 7 questions every day based on editorials, right? So you can go to free initiatives on our website. Search InsightsIAS, go to free initiative. There is something called mains here, okay? So this is the current affair quiz I was speaking about. There is also this QED, questions from editorials, right? So from Valentine's Day, right? Celebrate ಮಾಡಿದ್ರಲ್ಲ in the end of Valentine's Day ನಿಮಗೆಲ್ಲ. So 5 questions, right? Manage the following public health concept with their correct descriptions, right? So let us say that we have done all the 5 questions. So now the answer is going to be there, and then we will define what they are, and then similarly right. So this is the quiz. So when you go to mains, there is this secure initiative. And we have written like, how to make use of this answer rating, how to self-evaluate. Okay. Let us say that we take from previous. So reference is the Hindu, TH, the Hindu. If you click the question, so we also describe like, how you can approach the question, how you can frame your answers. And you will see that, some people sitting some part of the country, we don't know which part of the country, they would have written answers also, right? So for you sitting here, you can know the current competition, not previous topper, previous year, how they wrote. So this year, when you are attempting examination this year, how other aspirants from other parts of the country are writing the answer. So first you need to understand, you need to write. So one mistake people do, they don't try. They directly, we have the habit of directly going to comments, right? ಆಮೇಲೆ ಕಮೆಂಟಲ್ಲಿ ಮೊದಲು ಏನು ಹೇಳಿದಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ ದೆನ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಹಂಗೆ ಮಾಡೋದು ಬೇಡ. ಸೊ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಯು ರೀಡ್, ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್, ರೈಟ್ ಯುವರ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದೆನ್ ಮೇ ಬಿ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಕಂಪೇರ್, ರೈಟ್? So similarly, she has written IIM, IMA, NIT, graduate from maybe NIT, IM ಇಂದ ಇರ್ಬೋದು. So, Srishti Deshmukh used to write her answers here. She got All India Rank 5 thanks to this initiative, Secure. She has acknowledged, she has talked about it multiple times. So this is the initiative from the comfort of her home. She used to write answers and post 4 to 5 answers minimum every day. So I remember 5-6 years ago she used to do, and then review others answers. So nowadays people are more comfortable doing by themselves. So earlier there used to be a community and all. So ಇವಾಗೆಲ್ಲ ಟೆಲಿಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಡೈವರ್ಸಿಫೈ ಆಗಿ, so it is, the number is decreased, but still there are many people who write regularly. You can visit, you can also upload your copy, maybe others insights can also review your answer. So what these questions will do, and also we also have something called Instapedia, right? So we have divided all general studies 1, 2, 3, 4. Now let us say that we want to go with agriculture. So there are all these topics. There is notes, and entire syllabus is divided here. So these are the basic notes that is there, source from NCERT and other all related things that is there on the website also. Okay. And if you go to downloads, the current affair quiz. So this is the January compilation. Only questions we give if you want to again practice one more time, right? And with answer also. Like these are just questions, right? Every day you would have solved, but at the end of the month, if you feel like let us test my knowledge of current affairs, so you don't download these compilations, right? So they will have what we discussed, around 400 odd questions, and then you can test your knowledge. You can download another compilation. So this is with the solution, right? So if you trust one source, so recently I went to Delhi to do mock interviews. So I met n number of candidates. Those who come to take mock interview from me, they are somebody who is doing self-study based on the interest insights website. all these initiatives, from home, they would be doing, they'll be very delighted. So I've been following these initiatives, very happy to meet you in person, something like that. So people are unaware of, ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಗಾದೆ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ದೂರದ ಬೆಟ್ಟ ನುಣ್ಣಗೆ ಅಂತಂದು, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದೇನೋ ಇದೆ, ಹತ್ರನೇ ಏನೋ ಹಿಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಅಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ ಹುಡ್ಕಾಟಿದ್ರು ಅಂತ, ಅಂಗೈಯಲ್ಲಿ ಬೆಣ್ಣೆ ಹಿಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ತುಪ್ಪಕ್ಕೆ ಊರೆಲ್ಲ ಹುಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗಿದ್ರು ಅಂತ, ಹಿಂಗೆ ಏನೇನೋ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ಬೋದು. ಸೊ ಟು ಕ್ರ್ಯಾಕ್ ದಿಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮಿನೇಷನ್, ಟು ಗೆಟ್ ಆಲ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ರ್ಯಾಂಕ್, ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ experience, expertise, knowledge. So this is the website I created based on my interest, hobby. I was preparing, I was blogging. I created Insights on India. I thought if I don't crack the examination, I will write Insights on India, to the world about every issue, and then become a writer, or a journalist, or a writer, and then earn money by becoming a writer. I used to write lots of stuff. And then destiny, after preparing for UPSC, after reading lots of literature, other books and all, these ideas came. Let us convert this into a website, where thousands or lakhs of, I didn't have an idea that lakhs of people will visit, but help others. And then we started this revolutionary idea, this, write answers from home. When? 2012, right? 14 years ago, nobody had thought about this idea. From, home, you can do something free of cost, right? So that changed everything. There are like hundreds of recently we went to Bagalkot, SP, IIT Roorkee and IIM Ahmedabad graduate. That video is there in Facebook. So he was so happy to see me, and he said, I used to write answers here, and I am also your student, he said, Bagalkot SP. So, and you people are here, right, with us. So don't get distracted, right? Go through the hard route, and we are here to guide you. We are here to physically evaluate your answers, right? We are here to correct you at every step. Whenever there are mistakes that you commit mistakes, don't be afraid of committing mistakes. Because of fear of committing mistake, you don't try, right? Trying to write an answer because you are scared that you will write a poor answer, wrong answer. So don't do that. Keep trying. So there is this evolution happens only through trying, failing, and learning from each failure. So otherwise, you are what you are currently, right? The time has moved on, but there is no progress, there is no development. So only through trying, taking risk, marali yatnava madu, fail agbeku, kalibeku, then you just have to do it again and again and again. So then you will see that in the second iteration, third iteration, things are improving. But how things are improving, how will you know? Through us, right? I will be able to perfectly accurately tell you whether your essay is going to get 140 plus in the real exam or 60-70 in the real exam, right? That experience, lakhs of essays we have evaluated. I mean it, lakhs. Last 12 years we've been doing it on a daily basis, both online and offline, here and Delhi, everywhere. We have seen, right? Perfectly know that what is the nature of essay. Similarly, ethics answers. Similarly, GS answers all our faculties, respective subject. So Pradeep sir will know like modern Indian history, Shivraj sir like ancient medieval, they will tell you, right? Manjuna sir will tell you GS2, what is the quality of how your answer should be, right? So I will tell you whether your introduction is good or bad, whether it is analytical or factual, right? So you don't rely on the easily available tools, right? You can do them later when you have paucity of time, when you have shortage of time, but through the hard route. So ಏನಆಗಲ್ಲ, 3 floor ಹತ್ಕೊಂಡ್ ಬನ್ನಿ, right? Climb the stairs and then wait for half an hour, 1 hour or 2 hours. And when you are waiting outside, what are you doing? ಇದು ಹಾಸ್ಪಿಟಲ್, ನನಗೆ ಹೊಟ್ಟೆ ನೋವು ಎಮರ್ಜೆನ್ಸಿ, ಡಾಕ್ಟ್ರು ಬೇಗ ನೋಡ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ನಮಗೆ ಹೊಡೆಯಕ್ಕೆ ಬರೋದಕ್ಕೆ. ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಹಾಸ್ಪಿಟಲ್, ರೈಟ್? ವೆನ್ ಯು ವೇಟ್ half an hour, we keep papers, we keep magazines, we have kept books, right? You can bring books. So if you're half an hour, if you're waiting outside, you can solve that day's quiz. If you're waiting 1 hour outside, right, you can try to write 1 or 2 answers from the secure initiative. So always have a pen, paper, notebook, newspaper, and a copy of PYQs, right, in your bag all the time. So wherever you are there, whether you are in park or coffee shop, whether you are waiting outside, be immersed in this process, right? And it has to be done, for own self-learning and self-empowerment and enriching your knowledge. Never think about the examination. Find a fun in solving a question, right? When you're solving an MCQ, make it exciting. That you may fail, but then you take another MCQ. Try to apply some logic, some kind of random guessing. See whether it is working, right? As your knowledge improves, this kind of application of the reasoning skill, everything will proportionally improve also. But you have to keep trying. Simultaneously, you have to do that. So that is what we do inside SIAS. Like we encourage you to write answers from day one. So all the mentors will be waiting for you, right, every day. Sometimes we tell them, how many students came and met you. Sometimes there are seasons here, right? So non-prelim seasons, more people. Now prelim season, you don't see anyone coming and writing answers and being with the mentors. Suddenly January comes, everyone is like, I'll prepare only for prelims, right? So that is also something that I am against in this field, that you should not compartmentalize. That there is prelims phase, there is mains phase, there is interview. It is all integrated one. When you learn geography, you are learning geography from all three phases plus the phase of life also. When you go to Himalayas, right? When you go to Mussoorie, you should be able to appreciate the geology, geography, everything, environment, everything, right? You should have that, observational capacity through your understanding. So we learn and forget it. Similarly, when you move to another subject and then interlinking, geography is so much interlinked with environment. Sometimes you don't differentiate which is environment question, which is geography question. When we are trying to calculate in prelims, how many questions came from geography, how many came from environment, right? Interlinkages. Similarly, polity and economy can be interlinked. Economy and geography can be interlinked. Polity and history can be interlinked, right? History, geography can be interlinked. So there were questions like why Panipat was chosen, for the war. Why Panipat was most suitable. It's a geography question as well as history question, right? So it's a UPSC question. So like that, you have to gain the understanding. So for that, one thing I talked about newspaper. Second, NCERTs, right? Now, don't think you are all graduates and very intelligent human beings. NCERT, keep reading again and again and again till you have understood everything in it. It is not one time reading. If you ask me, there has to be 4 to 5 times reading of NCERT textbooks. Each subject. Geography 4 to 5 times. Till you understand every last concept in the textbook, NCERT. The diagram is there in your mind. That concept is very much sitting. Keep repeating the same textbook, right? Read again and again. Take PYQ books. Solve the question. Go to there is another static quiz here. In Insights website, there is. So this like many years ago we started, right? Imagine how many static questions are there on like each subject. There are hundreds of thousands of questions on one website, right? So there are 5 questions like this, and if you open the so this is the May month 24, and again it is divided polity subject wise, right? And each subject like economy is there. There are 25 questions on economy in one May compilation, right? So in a year, there can be around 200, 300 questions on economy, static questions. right? If you take last 2 to 3 years, then you will have around 1000 MCQs on each subject, right? You can keep testing your knowledge, whatever you're reading from NCERT and textbooks. So all in one source. You don't have to deviate, distract. So don't get lured by these videos, they lure you. Luring andre? LURE. Hmm? Hmm. They attract you by, promising something, some mostly by, creating fear. ಹೆದರ್ಸ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾರೆ ನಿಮಗೆ. ಸೊ ಥ್ರೂ ಫಿಯರ್ ದೇ ಟ್ರೈ ಟು ಅಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟಿವ್. ನಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರ ಬಂದರೆ ಒಂದೇ ದಿನದಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಟ್ಬಿಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಇಫ್ ಯು ಕಮ್ ಟು ಅಸ್ ವಿಲ್ ಟೀಚ್ ಯು ದ ಟ್ರಿಕ್ಸ್, ಯೂನಿಕ್ ಟ್ರಿಕ್ಸ್, ಹಾಗೆ ಹೇಗೆ ಅಂತ. ಸೊ ವೆನ್ ಯು ವಾಚ್ ಅ ಯೂಟ್ಯೂಬ್ ವಿಡಿಯೋ, ರೈಟ್, ಆನ್ಲೈನ್ lecture or something, it might have been watched by thousands of people, right? Hundreds of thousands, some millions of view irtade. When they watch that video and when they learn from that video, and if they are trying to implement, everyone's thinking is similar to what is taught in the video, right? Answer hinge bariri andre ella hinge bardirtare. If they give one example in the video, this is a very good example that you must include in this answer. They will tell this is the most important report. In everyone's introduction, this must be there. Right? And everyone will write the same thing. And me as an evaluator will punish everyone. Because there is nothing, no novelty, no originality, there is no effort. Right? Somebody gave you, and without thinking, without putting your own effort, you are just using it. UPSC punishes this, right? There is a clear-cut, visible, phenomenon in UPSC that any pattern, any trends that UPSC seeks to destroy every year. So many people have this wrong habit of downloading from topper copy. So they will download all the copies from toppers, essay, GS papers, and then they will read essay of a topper, right? The way she has started the essay, the examples, and they will start using the same thing. And you may be thinking that you are the only one who is doing that. But when I am evaluating, I see that hundreds of thousands of people are doing the same thing. There is no originality, right? So refer to them. Last year, what was the benchmark? Last year, what was the new thing in the examination? You have understood. Now this year you have to bring something fresh by yourself. Anybody who has that kind of intelligence capacity is a top 10 material in this examination, right? You have to look at them to improve them, to better them, right? Not copy them, imitate them. Imitate madidre you're gone. All effort, 2 to 3 years is gone. But whereas if you can improve them, then you have advantage. And there is one important, if you have already watched my orientation previously, one important thing you have to do is, apart from listening to class, solving quiz, writing answers, weekly test. So weekly mock test, there was this complaint that so you are teaching something and questions are something else in the weekly test. So we were intentionally doing that you people would read something extra and then use your mind to solve some unknown question, right? So people are like complaining, we want questions from our notes only. So we are going to give some 30 questions minimum from notes only, just to make you feel better, right? But even then, because I don't feel better, 20 questions are going to be something new, right? From current affairs, from applied part, PYQs, right? People want to score better and then feel good. That whatever that was taught, what namgella the adat, habit, right? Notes ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರೋದೇ ಬರಬೇಕು. in exams whatever that is there in the notes ಅದೇ ಬರಬೇಕು ಅಂತ. ಸೊ ಅದನ್ನು ಪಾರ್ಷಿಯಲಿ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಡೂಯಿಂಗ್ ಇಟ್ ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಯು ಡೋಂಟ್ ಫೀಲ್ ಅಂಡರ್ ಕಾನ್ಫಿಡೆಂಟ್. ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಕಾನ್ಫಿಡೆನ್ಸ್ ಬರಲಿ ಅಂತಂದು, ಬಟ್ ದಟ್ಸ್ ಎ ಫಾಲ್ಸ್ ಕಾನ್ಫಿಡೆನ್ಸ್, ರೈಟ್? ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಸಾಲ್ವ್ ದಿ ಅನ್ನೌನ್, ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಡೆವಲಪ್ ದಟ್ ಎಬಿಲಿಟಿ. ನೀವು ಎಷ್ಟೇ ಓದಿ ಪ್ರಿಲಿಮಿನರಿ, ನೌ ದ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಟ್ರೆಂಡ್, it doesn't matter how much you read, when you go to preliminary examination, nearly 70-80 questions are new. You wouldn't have seen that question anywhere, right? Solve that kind of question anywhere, but the topic will be familiar. You will know the topic, you will know the concept, but the question that has appeared from different angle, dimension, what we call, that is unexpected. So how you handle that, right? Handling unknown is very important. So this is all related to kind of academics, like subjects. So there is something extracurricular that you have to do, everyone. So it is my duty to tell you that, because I keep doing these mock interviews, ultimately you are going to reach the interview stage, right? When you reach the interview stage, you must have hobbies and interests, right? Now they are asking you to fill, while filling the application form during prelims. Now people are, asking me which hobby to put, which interest to put. You must have. So there are two categories of hobbies and interest. One is something that you do, right? Dancing, music, playing guitar, painting, right? Sketching, right? Running, jogging, gymming, cooking, all these things. So there is something interest that you keep reading about, you keep thinking about, you keep updating, and you keep writing about something intellectual type. So combination of these two, right? One may be yoga, meditation. It's very common. Running, jogging, gymming, dancing. There is something called calisthenics, within gymming, using your body weight to build your body or, strengthen yourself. So whatever it is. And another one, develop at least two interests. I'll go back to my original, the way I began. So I was talking about you should have at least deep interest in at least 2 to 3 areas. So it can be artificial intelligence, it can be governance, social justice, polity, some aspect of economy. Develop deep interest in 2 to 3 topics. As course of the preparation, deeper interest. This is not merely for the examination, this is also for interview and also beyond that. In the service, tomorrow a chief minister or a minister comes to know that, this IAS officer is exceptionally good with artificial intelligence, right? Irrespective of your background, they are going to consider your opinion or you for decision making. You getting the point, right? If RDPR minister is there, if you are exceptionally good with, read Panchayat Raj institutions about all the laws, acts, right? You have good understanding of it. So you will be chosen. So like that, it can be anything, technology, science, environment, society, culture, art. It can be anything, society. It can be aligned with your optional also, right? Compulsorily develop. So what it means is that you are spending half an hour or 1 hour extra almost every day on those topics, right? Almost near expert level you are gaining knowledge, not merely reading the basic source, but also diversifying. So which brings me to the important hobby, that is reading extra books, right? Primarily non-fiction books. So buy non-fiction books about mind, about intelligence, about evolution, right? About future of humanity. Depending on you, these are my interest. I keep repeating them. Okay. So you can develop any interest. Not self-help books. Okay. Not your monk who sold his Ferrari, right? Atomic Habits. You Can Win. You might have read some of you. Not those books, but non-fiction books written by the industry leaders, the experts, right? In every field. So there are wonderful books in psychology. There are wonderful books in evolutionary biology, behavioral economics, developmental economics, about geopolitics, diplomacy, right? You should dream that, I can become diplomat also. You can become diplomat. But when you want to become diplomat, world history is something that you should have deep knowledge. Geography, you should have deep knowledge, right? Economy, world economy, you should have deep knowledge, right? So you can develop interest in world history, reading about world history. ನೀವು ಎಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಬಂದಿದ್ದಾರೋ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, you have to do these things. So collectively, this will, reduce the uncertainty, will make you more prepared to crack this examination. So this is the nature of the entire preparation, and give yourself only 2.5 years for this thing, right? ನೀವು ನಾಟ್ ಸೋ ಗುಡ್ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ಗ್ರೌಂಡಿಂದ ಬಂದಿದ್ರೆ 14 hours ಎಫರ್ಟ್ ಹಾಕಿ, ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಪೇಪರ್ ಓದೋದು ನಾಲೆಡ್ಜಿಂದ ಬಂದಿದ್ರೆ 6 to 8 hour ಎಫರ್ಟ್ ಹಾಕಿ, ರೈಟ್? ಗಿವ್ ಯುವರ್ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್ 2.5 years. Next 1.5 years as if you have nothing else in your life. This is the only thing, this is the mission, right? Devote entire energy time for this thing. Forget about everything, your post graduation, your employment, other examination, nothing. Don't even try, don't even care about them. You can apply. If KPSC calls, you apply, but don't worry about it. So your mission is to develop capability to the level of cracking the UPSC examination in all sense. Interview communication, writing essays, answers, until, right, that is done, until it is not been, until you have achieved that. So don't deviate, don't think about anything else, and then give 1 year exam. In that 1 year also the same intensity. So after 2.5 years, you must get into higher education, right? When getting higher education andre not distance courses, right? Try to get into IITs. Try to, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂತಿರೋ everybody can do that actually. After 2 years of UPSC preparation in depth, you would have developed capability to crack CAT examination and get into IIM. ಆಯ್ತಾ? Crack law entrance and get into National Law School. Post graduation, degree ಮಾಡೋರಿಗೆ LLB introduce ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ 3 years. Get into that course. IIT ನಲ್ಲಿ 1 year 2 year courses ಇದೆ, ಪಬ್ಲಿಕ್ ಪಾಲಿಸಿ ಮೇಲೆ, ಗವರ್ನೆನ್ಸ್ ಮೇಲೆ, ಟೆಕ್ನಾಲಜಿ ಗವರ್ನೆನ್ಸ್ ಮೇಲೆ, ಸೈಬರ್ ಸೆಕ್ಯೂರಿಟಿ, AI ಗವರ್ನೆನ್ಸ್, ಇನ್ನು ಹೊಸ ಹೊಸ ಕೋರ್ಸ್ ಬರ್ತವೆ, ರೈಟ್? ಹ್ಯಾಂಡ್ಲಿಂಗ್, AI ಸೇಫ್ಟಿ, AI ಸೆಕ್ಯೂರಿಟಿ, ಸಮಥಿಂಗ್ ಲೈಕ್ ದಿಸ್. ಗೆಟ್ ಇನ್ ಟು ದೆಮ್. Or you go to Delhi University, JNU, and try to do masters in whichever, like your optional political science, sociology. But once you have done 2.5 years solid preparation with any higher education, you can continue to give the examination. So there you will diversify your career opportunities, right? Something better than IAS, or it can be IAS also. So ಅವಾಗ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, then you will feel not stuck, right? This is very important. But for that to happen, I was talking about 2 to 3 interest, right? So develop those interests. So in that interest only you can do a course, right? If you develop interest in architecture, for example, so go. If you develop interest in design, right, art and culture, whatever it is, you choose that course and try to do masters. You will be more valuable even in private sphere, right? And there can be lateral entry in government later also. Second option is get into job if you are desperate, right? Any government job you can crack after 2.5 years of intense preparation. Village accountant to KPSC and bank exam, NABARD, RBI, you can crack any examination, right? Or if you wanted to, if you want to get into private job and then continue preparation. But beyond 2.5 to 3 years, don't sit empty and continue to prepare for this examination, right? That's not good for country, that is not good for your mind, not good for your family also, right? But 2.5 years, the way you prepare is extremely important. ಸೊ ನಿಮ್ದೆಲ್ಲ ಟೆನ್ಷನ್ನು, ಕಷ್ಟ, ನೋವು, ದುಃಖ, ರೈಟ್, ಅದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಗಂಟು ಕಟ್ಟಾಕಿ ಸೈಡಿಗೆ ಇಟ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಸಿಂಗಲ್ ಮೈಂಡೆಡ್ ಫೋಕಸ್, ಆ್ಯಸ್ ಇಫ್ ಯು ಡೋಂಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಎನಿಥಿಂಗ್ ಎಲ್ಸ್ ಟು ಡೂ. ಇನ್ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ಯು ಡೋಂಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಎನಿಥಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಡೂ. ಏನಾರು ಇದೆಯೇನಪ್ಪ? ಮಕ್ಕಳಿದಾವ? ಮದುವೆ ಆಗಿದೆಯಾ? ಇಲ್ಲ. ಏನಾರು ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾ? MLAನಾ? ಅಪ್ಪ ಅಮ್ಮಂಗೆ ದುಡಿಬೇಕೇನಪ್ಪ ಇವಾಗಲೇ? ಇಲ್ಲ ತಾನೆ. 2 years ಎನಿಬಡಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಗಿವ್ ಯು ಟೈಮ್. ಹೆಣ್ಮಕ್ಳಿಗೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಸಿಗ್ತದೆ, ಅದು 2 ವರ್ಷ ಅಂತಲೇ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಮಚ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್, ರೈಟ್? ಸೊ ಮಾರ್ನಿಂಗ್ ದಿನಕ್ಕೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಗಂಟೆ ಇದೆ? 24 hours. How many hours you sleep? 7 to 8 hours. You? 6 hours. You? 8 hours. You? 8 hours. Very good. 9 hours. Wonderful. Very good. No, that's very important actually. You? 7 hours. You know, 6 to 7 hours. ಕಾರ್ನರ್ ನೀನು ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ 10 ಗಂಟೆ ಅನ್ನಿಸ್ತದೆ. 10 hours. ಈ ಕಾರ್ನರ್ 6 to 8 hours. ಆಯ್ತು 8 hours ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಣ. 8 hours ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ರೂ ಹೌ ಮೆನಿ hours ಆರ್ ಲೆಫ್ಟ್ ವಿತ್ ಯು? 16 hours. ಬ್ರಷ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಅರ್ಧ ಗಂಟೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಯಾರಾದ್ರು? ಫುಲ್ ಡೀಟೇಲಾಗಿ ಕೇಳೋಕೆ ಹೋಗಲ್ಲ. ಅವೆಲ್ಲ ಸೇರಿಸ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಅರ್ಧ ಗಂಟೆ 1 ಗಂಟೆ ಏನೇನು ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ಅವೆಲ್ಲ. ತಿಂಡಿ ತಿನ್ನೋದು, ಊಟ ಮಾಡೋದು, ಅವೆಲ್ಲ ಅನದರ್ 1 hour. 10 minutes ಬ್ರೇಕ್ಫಾಸ್ಟ್, ಹಾಫ್ ಆನ್ ಅವರ್ ಲಂಚ್, ಹಾಫ್ ಆನ್ ಅವರ್ ನಿಧಾನ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಅದೆಷ್ಟೊತ್ತು ಜಗಿಬೇಕಂತಲ್ಲ, ಎಷ್ಟು ಟೈಮ್ ಅಗಿಬೇಕು? ಹಾಂ 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 52 ಟೈಮ್ಸಾ? ಎಷ್ಟು ವಾರ ಇದಾವೆ ಅಷ್ಟು ಸರಿ ವರ್ಷದಲ್ಲಿ? ಹೌದು, ಒಂದೊಂದು 10 ಅಷ್ಟು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು 1 hour ಸಮಥಿಂಗ್. 2 hours ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೊರಟೋಯ್ತು. ಇನ್ನೆಷ್ಟು ಉಳಿತು? 14 hours. ಆಯ್ತು, 1 ಗಂಟೆ ವಾಕ್ ಹೋಗಿ, ವಾಕ್ ಹೋಗಿ, ಯೋಗ ಮಾಡಿ, ಜಿಮ್ಮಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡಿ, ಡಾನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ, ನೀವೇನಾದರೂ ಮಾಡಿ 1 hour ನಿಮ್ಮ ಟೈಮ್ ಅದು, ಆಯಿತಾ? ಇನ್ನು 13 ಗಂಟೆ ಉಳೀತು. ಇನ್ನು 1 hour ಗಾಸಿಪ್ ಮಾಡಿ, ಆಯಿತಾ? 1 hour ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಚಿಟ್ ಚಾಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ, ಗಾಸಿಪ್ ಮಾಡಿ, ಫೋನ್ ಮಾಡಿ, ಬೈಯೋದಿದ್ರೆ ಯಾರಿಗಾರು ಬೈರಿ. ವಾಟ್ ಎವರ್ ಯು ಡು, ವಾಟ್ ಎವರ್ ಯು ವಾಂಟ್, ಸ್ಟಿಲ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ 12 hours. 12 hours ನಾವೊಂದು 3 to 4 hours ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಆಯಿತಾ? ಮೈನಸ್ ಇಟ್. ಅದು ಲರ್ನಿಂಗ್ಗೆ, ಅದು ಬೆಸ್ಟ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಯುವರ್ ಡೇ ಅದು ಆ್ಯಕ್ಚುಲಿ, ರೈಟ್? ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದೆನ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಸ್ಟಿಲ್ ಲೆಫ್ಟ್ ವಿತ್ 8 to 9 hours. ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತಾ? ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಸಮಥಿಂಗ್ ದಟ್ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಟಿವ್ಲಿ ಯುಟಿಲೈಸ್ ಆನ್ ಎ ಡೈಲಿ ಬೇಸಿಸ್. ಐ ಆಮ್ ಟೆಲ್ಲಿಂಗ್ 8 hours ಸ್ಲೀಪ್. ನಾನು ಕಡಿಮೆ ನಿದ್ದೆ ಮಾಡಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ, ರೈಟ್? 1 ಗಂಟೆ ಏನಾದರೂ ಕಿತಾಪತಿ ಮಾಡಿ, ಗಲಾಟೆ ಮಾಡಿ, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಇಷ್ಟ ಅದು. 1 hour ಹಾಬಿ, ರೈಟ್? ಆಮೇಲೆ 1 hour ಅದು ಇದು ಎಲ್ಲ, ರೈಟ್? ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದೆನ್ ಇನ್ ರಿಮೈನಿಂಗ್ 8 hours, 2 hours ಫಾರ್ ನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಪೇಪರ್ಸ್, ರೈಟ್? 3 hours ಫಾರ್ subject, doing these things, solving questions and trying to write answers. Another 2 hours can be for optional, right? CSAT or optional, you can invest your time. Idanna 365 days, consistently 365 days if you do this. ಏನು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಟೆನ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದಿದ್ರೆ 1 hour ಇರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಅದಕ್ಕಿಡಿ. ಆ 1 hour ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮೂಲೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗಿ ಟೆನ್ಷನ್ ತೊಗೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಆಯಿತಾ? ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಮುಗಿಸ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬನ್ನಿ ಈ ಕಡೆ, ರೈಟ್? So it is possible actually, right? It is perfectly possible to do these things. On the other hand, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾಕೆ ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದರೆ, why people are not consistent here. One of the fundamental reason is that you have to do everything on your own here. No internships, no 85% attendance compulsory, right? No university examination, no certificates. Every day you have to motivate yourself, come here and do. Every day you have to do it, right? So that requires clarity, mental toughness. So that you need to focus. That you have to work upon that particular, right? So this is the major reason. But there are individuals who are like driven, But if you have a plan like, okay, 2.5 years, this is what you want to do, I think that will give you more clarity, right? Let me invest everything. So we had such kind of a candidate in my first batch, and then 3 years later 1 more candidate. So she had come from Jamshedpur, Jharkhand. She was one among my first 40 students when I started this initiative. Her name is Neha Kumari. She was from Jamshedpur. She was working in Tata Steel, and she sent a mail that I have given myself 12 months. I want to crack this examination. Give me an opportunity to be part of your core batch. Core batch is something for people who have already completed coaching, daily answer writing, weekly test, individual mentorship. So she came and joined. 14 hours, 12 months consistently, even when she had fever. I mean it. I am not saying this to motivate you. I have seen this. 40 students I used to mentor very closely. I have seen that. I would tell, okay, go take rest. I come to Bangalore with only intention of going back with a rank. I don't have anything else to do. This is the only thing I want to do when I'm in Bangalore. So she actually did. In her very first attempt, she got all India rank 26, right? Now DC, Mehsana district anta ansutte, Gujarat alli. She is DC now. And that is one classic example that there have been many students, but on and off. But gottilla adu enittu olage, the core was very strong, right? Unwavering anta ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. Then 5th rank Jaydev. 3 years later, he came and delivered a talk. He said, I had single-minded focus. Right? He was from National Law School. He said that nothing in the world mean anything currently. This is the only thing I have to do. Right? Nothing else. My parents are supportive and I have to do the only thing. And he got All India rank 5. He was OGP student. So he also said one more thing, that the psychology, how it works. Now, when I said 12 hours, in the beginning it looks good, right? You will do for a few days, maybe few weeks, but to sustain it for 1 year, 2 years, it's very difficult, right? But let us say I employ all of you here to do UPSC preparation and I'll give you 30,000 per month. I'll make it a job. That you have to come every day, 6 o'clock in the morning, and then you have to go back 8 o'clock in the evening, right? It's a work job. And 30,000 salary is there at the end of the month, right? ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ? ಬರ್ತೀರ ತಾನೆ? ಇಫ್ ಯು ಗೋ ಇನ್ ಟು ಪ್ರೈವೇಟ್ ಆರ್ಗನೈಸೇಷನ್, ನಿಂಗೆ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಮನೇಲಿ ಬಡತನ, ಒಂದು 30,000-40,000 ಜಾಬ್ ಸಿಕ್ಕರೆ ಸಾಕು ಅಂತ ವಿಲ್ ಗೋ. ಬೆಳಗ್ಗೆ 5 ಗಂಟೆಗೆ ಎದ್ದು ರೆಡಿಯಾಗಿ ಮನೆಯಿಂದ ಬಸ್ ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ತನಕ ನಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬಂದು ಬಸ್ ಹತ್ಕೊಂಡು 2 ಗಂಟೆ ವೈಟ್ ಫೀಲ್ಡು ಅಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ ಹೋಗಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು 8 to 9 hours ವರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಮತ್ತೆ 2 ಗಂಟೆ ವಾಪಸ್ ಬಂದು, ಯು ವಿಲ್ ಡೂ ಇಟ್, ರೈಟ್? Bring the same focus, same attitude into UPSC preparation. It is a 1 year job, 365 days job. Perfectly 365 days. But ನಿಮಗೆ 1.5 ವರ್ಷ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಾ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ ನಾವು, ರೈಟ್? ಸೊ everyone sitting here actually can do it. The brain same, ಎಲ್ಲರ ಬ್ರೈನು ಕಲಿಯೋ ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟಿ ಇದೆ, right? There are opportunities here, there are people to guide, there are n number of resources, everything is there in one place. If you are ambitious, you can go on to get All India rank 1 from this place without going anywhere. You don't have to go anywhere, you don't have to search anywhere, right? So ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನೀವು ರೆಡಿ ಇರಬೇಕು. So when the student is ready, teacher appears under, right? You have to be ready for it, and we are here to make you toppers. Okay. Thank you. All the best. So if you have any doubts, you can ask in 5 minutes. So optional, don't go with mathematics, even if you are Ramanujan, right? Don't take maths optional. Don't go with law optional. If you didn't do well in law during graduation. Don't go with medical science if you haven't done post graduation. Don't go with agriculture also if you haven't done post graduation, right? So there are other optionals like sociology, anthropology, political science that can be managed well, even literature, to some extent geography, public administration. So don't think about history, psychology and philosophy as your optionals. They are extremely difficult. Surfaceally they will look very easy, but to score in the mains examination is very difficult. So don't even think about these optionals. So primarily 4 optional you can focus, but provided, like let us say you are MBBS graduate from a good college, during the MBBS you did really well in medical science, you completed according to syllabus, then maybe you can consider. Logic, why not these technical optionals like engineering subjects, maths, physics, botany, zoology, why not? Because you have to spend at least 5 to 6 hours on a daily basis to master these optionals, and their application in entire scheme of things is 0, right? 1750 marks mains, 1250 marks, there is 0 application, and you are spending huge amount of time. Again, you are not going to get 350 there. Now UPSC has brought all the scores down to what? 260, 270, 280. Doesn't matter which optional, right? So all your time is kind of going to be wasted. But if you have done post graduation, then maybe you can consider. NEET prepare agirtira, LLM ಮಾಡಿರ್ತೀರಾ, maybe if you have got good understanding, you can go with it. So otherwise, the another second reason is that all of you are exceptionally good with general awareness. So you don't have to invest time in GS papers, right? ಅದು ಸಾರ್ಕಾಸಮ್ ಅಂತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಆಲ್ ಆಫ್ ಯುವರ್ ಝೀರೋ ಇನ್ ಜನರಲ್ ಅವೇರ್ನೆಸ್, ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಏನೂ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ನಿಮಗೆ, ರೈಟ್? ಫ್ರಮ್ ನೌ ಆನ್ವರ್ಡ್ಸ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಲರ್ನ್. ಸೊ ಎವ್ರಿ extra minute, extra hour that you are going to get should be invested in building this foundation for general studies, right? Solid, ನಾನು ಆಗಲೇ ಹೇಳಿದ್ನಲ್ಲ, in depth. That is very much important. There is so much to learn across subjects. So ಹಾಗಾಗಿ go with those optionals, either minimize your effort or time, or complement with the GS papers, right? So go with that kind of optional papers. ಕೆಲವೊಬ್ಬರು ಜಿದ್ದಿ ಅಂತಾರಲ್ಲ, ಹಿಂಗೆ ಹಠಮಾರಿಗಳು ಇರ್ತಾರೆ. BSc PCM ಮಾಡಿರ್ತಾರೆ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮ್ಯಾಥ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಟೆಸ್ಟಲ್ಲಿ 25ಕ್ಕೆ 25 ಬಂದಿರ್ತದೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದು ನಾವು ಮ್ಯಾಥ್ಸೇ ತೊಗೊತೀನಿ ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತು, ರೈಟ್? 2 cases I have seen in 12 years. Not many, some people will be there. ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ನಿಮಾನ್ಸಿ ಕಳಿಸ್ಬೇಕು, ಅಥವಾ ಐ ಮೀನ್ ಇಟ್ ಅಗೇನ್, ಎಷ್ಟು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದೆನ್ ದೇ ಸ್ಪೆಂಡ್ 7 to 8 years ಇಲ್ಲಿ, ರೈಟ್? ಫಿಲಿಮ್ಸು ಪಾಸ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ, ಯಾಕಂದರೆ ಮ್ಯಾಥ್ಸಲ್ಲೇ ಕೂತಿರ್ತೀರಿ, ರೈಟ್? ಈ ಕಡೆ AI ಬಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಮ್ಯಾಥ್ಸು ಯೂಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಲೈಫಲ್ಲಿ, ರೈಟ್? ಯು ಆರ್ ನಾಟ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಬಿ ಹೈಯರ್ಡ್ ಇನ್ ಎನಿವೇ. ಸೊ ಹಂಗಾಗಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಕಾಮನ್ ಸೆನ್ಸ್. ವೆನ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಇನ್ ಡೌಟ್, ಕಮ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಟಾಕ್ ಟು ಅಸ್. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಎನಿಥಿಂಗ್ ವಿ ಟೆಲ್, ನಾವು ಇಂಟೆಲಿಜೆಂಟ್ ಅಂತ ತೋರಿಸ್ಕೊಳಕ್ಕಲ್ಲ, ನೀವು ರ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಬರಲಿ ಅಂತಂದು ನಾವು ಹೇಳೋದು, ರೈಟ್? ವಾಟ್ ಎವರ್ ಅಡ್ವೈಸ್, ವಾಟ್ ಎವರ್ ಗೈಡೆನ್ಸ್ ವಿ ಗಿವ್, that has one and only purpose, that we want you to succeed in this examination. And insights ಅಲ್ಲಿ we want you to succeed in life also. ನಾನು ಇಷ್ಟೋ ತನಕ ಕೊರೆದಿದ್ದು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದು, ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ಲೈಫ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ, ರೈಟ್? ಬಿಲ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ದಟ್ ನಾಲೆಜ್ ಬೇಸ್. ನಾಳೆ ಇದು ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂದರೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಹೌ ಐ ಆಮ್ ಹಿಯರ್ ಹೋಲ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಮೈ ಮೈಕ್, ರೈಟ್? ಸೊ ಇದು ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂದರೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ದ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರೆಸ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್, ರೈಟ್? ಹ್ಯಾವಿಂಗ್ multiple option choices, maximizing your options. That is the real progress, that is the real development. So these 2.5 years should be in that direction. Okay, thank you, all the best.